Yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, I am my number one fan. I'm trying to get you from here to there. I'm trying to show niggas it ain't fair. How I just came up, but you not there. Stuck in the same situation you been in. They got the plug, you got the sound. You not just a groupie that's hanging around. They got the stage, but you bring the lights. It's enough room at the top, we ain't gotta fight. I am my number one fan. I am that legend you stand for. When the crowds disperse, we'll see what you stand for.
This is
the Naybors Podcast.
He's Reese.
He's Arnold.
Listen to us on
iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and YouTube.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And y'all can listen to us daily.
Every day.
Yo, what's up, people? How y'all doing out there?
How's everybody living?
Yo, this is the Naybors Podcast. We welcome you. And we hope that y'all enjoy us, down the line, today, whenever.
Yes.
Yo, I'm Maurice.
And I'm Arnold.
And we just want to tell y'all a little bit about us. We're just some neighbors, and we're going to touch some topics that might be some of your concern, but it's most definitely our concerns too.
Yeah, we're going to basically just let you know how the podcast is, what we plan to get out of the podcast, and what we plan for you guys to get out of the podcast.
Right. So you know what? We'll talk about topics like the military and puberty.
Yeah. And how about, do you have to yell for a person to hear you or understand you?
Yo, that's a real deep one, yo. We could probably talk about that one for a long
All
time.
Day, yeah. And everybody got a poppy store in their neighborhood.
Right. So those are the type of things we're going to talk about to y'all. We really would love for y'all to comment, like,
subscribe,
and share it.
And repeat.
And you know what? Make sure you follow us on our social media.
Yeah. So you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook.
Right. And be sure to listen to us, too, on iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, and some other stuff. We'll put it out there.
YouTube, it's all there. SoundCloud.
Right.
But everything will be in our description so you guys can follow us and see where we at.
Right.
So before we get started with anything else, we might tell you a little bit about ourselves.
Right.
So I guess, Reese being he the oldest, so I might as well let
what?
him go first.
I am not the oldest. You go ahead.
So, as I said, my name is Arnold. By day, I'm a truck driver.
Nice.
By night, I'm a podcaster.
Right.
By the weekend, I'm just a neighborhood dude. Right now, like I said, I'm a truck driver. Also, I started this company called Horse and Carriage Productions. You guys would be looking out for that. Something major's coming with that, so I'll keep you posted on that. And my view for this podcast is to make sure that we can give everybody the right type of information, make sure you guys can laugh, and make sure you can relate to what's going on in the neighborhood.
Right. So this is Reese. I'm owner-operator of Chisholm Group, LLC. I also have a clothing line, Positive Energy Shop. You can follow us, Chisholm Group, LLC, and Positive Energy Shop on all major platforms. Even Pinterest, Tumblr, things like that. I'm a little bit on everything.
He's on everything, yo.
It's all about the marketing piece, man.
Exactly.
It's all about the marketing. But I got to touch on that poppy store thing, man. I don't want to get too much out about it. But, our poppy store, just so happened, we are actual neighbors, too.
Exactly.
We are actual neighbors. So we have this store in the neighborhood that sells these major hoagies.
Oh, my God.
And that's their name, Majors, too.
The store's called Majors, exactly.
They got meat on there that'll fill you up, man. I could deal with one of those right now, though.
Yeah, them joints are real nice. Their hoagies are good. Their wraps are also good. But you know what I really like from them? Their chef salads.
Nice. Okay,
their
I haven't
chef
had that
salads
yet.
are really good. Those and the fruit salads.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had. I gotta try those. I don't do fruit too well though, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but you really like their fruit salad. Their fruit salad is nice.
Okay.
You got watermelon in, you got cantaloupe, you got melon dew in there, you got red grapes, green grapes, Some blackberry might be in there, strawberry, and like she really hooks that joint up.
Okay, so the problem with that is, bro, I don't do fruit.
Fruit is good for you, man.
I know.
It's
I'm trying
good
to,
for you.
man. You know, I gotta lose
Fruit
some
is
weight,
good
man.
for
But I gotta figure that part out.
You gotta take it. You gotta take it one fruit at a time.
Okay. You know, I'll definitely keep that in mind. You know,
Right.
but you know what? Every Friday on our Instagram, be sure that y'all rep your hood and tell us about what poppy stores y'all got in y'all hood.
Exactly.
You know what type. You know, do they accept WIC? You know, do they accept food stamps? You know, whatever it might be. Tell us about it.
And if you come from a bougie neighborhood, not saying that you do come from a bougie neighborhood, but they have poppy stores in the bougie neighborhoods also.
Right. You know, but we just want y'all to make sure y'all continue to tune into us. You know, y'all can listen to us every week. We'll be posting at least once a week as of right now, but you know, we'll see what happens. If y'all love us, you know, you might get
Just keep it up.
2, 3, 5 times a week, man. You know, but
Plus-
yeah, that's what's going on.
Plus, we here for y'all. This is what this show is basically about. It's about the neighborhood. It's about how communities come together and we reach out and help each other the best way we know how. You know, so anything that you guys would like to discuss or talk about, or like he said, anything you like to rep your neighborhood, you know, hit us up. You have our social medias. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
Make sure that y'all continue to share, like, and subscribe
Repeat.
and on all of our social media.
Yeah.
All right, and just make sure that you tag us in that too, so we can see what y'all doing too. You get what I mean? You know. So, but let's get into one of these topics for this evening.
Okay.
Do you have to yell to be heard?
That's real good because, you know, like I'm 300 pounds, man. So my voice carries. So, yeah, I probably do yell a little bit, but I don't think I have to yell to be heard.
Got you. Yeah, you know, so, you know, when you think about that, people sometimes get caught up in things and situations, and sometimes they feel as though they have to yell at you to be heard, to be understood, or whatever else.
Correct.
And not understand that, you know, sometimes you could say things at a low tone of voice,
Right.
you know, to get your point across. Also, what it does, it makes people fall back for a minute so they can actually hear you.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
sometimes when in my experience, if you raise your voice to a person, it's usually that you're trying to intimidate the person.
Right.
So, if you take it from a parent's perspective, when a parent raises their voice, they're raising their voice so definitely you can hear and understand what they're saying.
Right.
Because you're going to pay more attention when you're a child. But as you get older and you become an adult, if a person raises their voice to you, you're going to take that as some type of either disrespect, or if you fear this person, then you're going to pay attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to listen to them. You're going to give them your undivided attention.
Right.
You know. But I think you can talk to a person without raising your voice. It's just that the tone, you can be strict and still have a stern tone, you know, without raising your voice. And as long as you're calm and cool and collect, you can express yourself any way that you like to express yourself. But usually when a person yells, you usually get on the defense because you're like, yo, what did I do wrong? What's going on?
Right.
You know, you automatically either in fight or flight mode.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I can see how people can take this, you know, different ways of being yelled at or their voice being raised. But it's also different ways for you to be heard with your voice being louder.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay.
And you know, I might need to raise my voice sometime.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, you know, so let's going from the parent perspective. I could just tell you how often my mom used to yell at me.
Yeah.
You know, and it was not always in I did something wrong, because I don't always understand as a child, you don't always understand what your parent is going through.
Right.
You know, so sometimes they're yelling at you and not really yelling at you,
Mm-hmm.
but they're yelling at the situation or whatever else. You get what I mean?
Yeah, we you're a child, you like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? You know, you like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, right. You know, so you know, I think that from a parent perspective, and that's one of the things I've tried to do for myself, is make sure that I don't yell at my kids, especially with my daughter, because I think just me being a father and me being upset at her, sometimes throws her off. Right. You know, daddy's little girl type thing. Right. So you know, I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to intimidate her or whatever else. So I don't yell at her as much as I probably could or should. But yeah, I just leave that alone. So in reference to other people, because I'm already a laid back, you know, individual, sometimes if I have to, you know, raise my voice, people really pay attention because they don't know where I'm coming from. Right. You know, it's like you said, man, like, you know, your voice, because it carries, right? You know, people might think that you're yelling, but it's not that you're yelling.
That's where my voice is.
Right.
It's loud.
You know, so for me to be laid back, like, you know, it would cause somebody to really pay attention to what I'm saying if I have to raise my voice.
But it's good that we brought this topic up, because what if we were as you can tell by our voices, you know that we are men of color. So what if you were a person that is not of color, and then you've been places where you have heard a conversation between two black females or two black males, and they talk, and they just happen to be talking loud, and then other people be like, why are they talking so loud like that? Yeah. Why must they talk like that? Or even when they're on the phone. Right. You know, and they talking extremely loud when you really don't have to. I mean, sometimes it makes me upset too. And I'd be like, damn, why don't you just be quiet for a minute? Right. You know? Why don't you text them? Write them a letter or something, you know? Right. But people will misconstrue that. Right. Because
they will.
The voice, the elevation of your voice, you know. And then a lot of people, because they don't come from where we come from. Right. They would think that, oh, this person is aggressive or this person is angry. Yeah. You know? But this is a very good topic, because there's so many different ways you can interpret. Do you have to yell for a person to hear you? So I think also, like you said, we're people of color. Right. So just for our parents and probably grandparents, because they were not heard at some point in time, and when they were able to finally voice themselves, they were finally able to really hear their voice, to see where they're coming from or whatever else. You know, and then wanted to make sure that the younger generation understood, like, you do understand that you have other privileges that they did not have. Right. And so sometimes that comes with frustration. So the yelling part, I think it sometimes comes from frustration as older generation. Right now, I think just because of the ratchetness that's around, you know, that people just, you know, speak loudly anyway. You know, but when you think about it, as far as TVs, radio, when you're talking your cell phone, everything seems loud anyway. Everything is loud.
You know, like they turn down the volume on a TV overall just so you could buy a sound bar.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that? Listen to your commercials.
Right.
All your commercials are high. Right. They're real loud.
Right.
You know, but you're right. They do turn down the volume on your shows or things that you're interested in while you're watching TV, so you can buy. So that's a marketing tool. Correct. That's a marketing tool. So there are times when you have to be loud so you can be heard. Right. You know.
Right. You know. Also, I think that you know, just being in the neighborhood, you know, you just used to other people yelling, like you said, you want to combat the ratchetness sometimes or whatever else, and you get too emotional, caught up in the emotions. You know, take that moment to just step back and think for a second, like, first of all, why are we yelling at each other? Right. We're adults, you know, so I don't think that sometimes our rational selves, you know, play a part in what's really going on.
I agree with you totally.
You know, and then when you start getting into things like relationships and marriages and things like that.
Let's not even get into that, because there's only one person allowed to yell in my relationship.
I got you.
You feel me? I love her to death, but it's only one person allowed to yell. You know, like I said, I'm a fairly big guy, but when it comes to her, I'm 4'11", 106 pounds, soaking wet.